We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 10, discussion and our action on presentation by the city manager on the revised 5-year general fund budget plan. Mr. Gregory.
What I provided to you before we get into the public hearings is the updated 5-year plan. In year one, which was the year we're in right now, we're not totally completed with it, but going through the expenditures that we have now and the projections we have to finish out this budget year, I use that as a baseline. I also showed you what we did on year 2 proposal last year and compared it to year 2 this year with the knowns and the unknowns that have plugged in. If you'll remember last year, we showed that year 2 was going to be in the red, whereas due to the revenues that we did collect this year, it actually ended up in the black by $46,355. From there, I ran years 3, 4, and 5, considering the possibility that y'all will adopt the budget proposal that I'm presenting to you tonight. And if you do, you can see that I have plugged that in. And year 3, 4, and 5, 3 and 4 will be in the red. Now, year 5 does end up in the, year 3 and 4 will end up in the black. But year 5 does show in the red by $16,814. That includes everything that I am proposing in this budget, including the fire department, police, and going forward through the 5 years. One thing that has made year 1 and 2 look a little different is because if you'll remember, we approved the loan from government capital to purchase a sweeper and 2 garbage trucks. The revenue part of it came in on year 1. However, we start the expenditure of it and the reimbursement in year 2. So that is the budget y'all are looking at tonight, fiscal year 21. It does make it look a little different by showing you that, but those are actually what has happened because that by getting those trucks, we can't get the reimbursement until after the trucks are completely taken out of commission. That's the purpose of that grant. So even adding all that in, we are able to pretty well for the next 5 years, based on tax every year revenue, we still will be in the black, like I said, every year but the last one. So I wanted to present this to you so you get a good look at where we're going in the next 5 years when I do present this other to you coming up here shortly. I don't know if any of you have any questions, but if you do, be glad to take them.
Does that include a fire chief full-time?
No, sir, it does not.
So, Marlon, thank you for putting all this together. I can tell you that I put a lot of work into this, and I appreciate all the details. And showing us what year 2 was originally and what it is now. That's an excellent approach to do it. One suggestion for next year is I typically see these rolling 5-year budgets.
Right.
So, I would suggest that you can go ahead and drop off the year 1 and then, add another year on the other end, so it's always a rolling 5 years. It's still good to show that, that prior year, what it was and what it is now, like you've done. That's one suggestion. But some questions I guess I had. One thing I didn't see that we probably will be faced with, well, I guess 2 things. One was the roof, right? The 95,000.
Yes, sir, that's not in there. It is.
Not in there. So I'm just curious why you didn't include it, I guess.
Well, I don't have a real answer for that, other than I just left it out.
Okay. So my suggestion is this: if you think it has to be done and needs to be done, even if it shows it's in the red, you want to put it somewhere, because, if you don't, if you think about not doing it, then don't put it in. If you think we are, we probably should put that in. And then The other thing is, that I was worried about was the streets. I couldn't tell, it didn't look like we had any significant amount of money for streets.
No, I budgeted pretty well, I mean, with a 3% increase each year, which is not a whole lot. I do have the advantage of the, CDBG grant money that we're gonna use toward streets going forward, yes.
Yeah. So, again, my suggestion is if you think that's adequate for us to do what we can do with our streets, then we're good. But if you think in the next 5 years that's not adequate and we're gonna have to do more, then I'll just urge you to put it somewhere, and so that, you know, everything we expect and we think we're gonna do is captured, you know, so there's no surprises.
No, I'll update it to include that.
Yeah, but I appreciate all the work you put into it, and we've done so far from where we used to be in our budgeting to where we are now. It's kind of a great improvement.
Well, thank you.
On the roof, is that all the buildings or just one building?
That's all the buildings, tops.
So,
City Hall and Library.
yeah. We need to just look at one at a time then. But that's,
Yeah, I can do that.
but next year on the projection, you can always add that in somewhere. Because this year, it's still uncertain with this, virus and everything shut down like it is, exactly where we're going to be. I heard today that we're going to extend this mask another 90 days. If it continues, our revenue may not come in this next year, you know, those are things we got to look at. So, I think what you put together is ideal for now, that, next year, like Steve said, you add a year to it. If everything's working fine, then that would be the time to go ahead and put in some of these capital things that we're gonna have to do.
We've been talking about that roof for some time, and at some point, we're gonna have to do it.
Okay.
We gotta protect that asset.
And I can put that in to next year's, it will show us in the red, but that's something we'll have to work through.
Well, I think the suggestion is that look forward and find the year that we can plug it in, because we're gonna have to put it in some point.
I think next year, year 3, would be the best year to put it in. Did you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't really need any action on this unless y'all want to take some action. Direct me to come back with it revised accordingly as y'all discussed here. Other than that, I don't really need anything. It's something I put together for everybody to see where we're going.
As long as the request is documented in the minutes, I'm good with that.
Okay.
I agree with Steve that there's a lot of work put into this, and I appreciate that. To give us kind of an overview of what to expect for the next 5 years.
Okay.
Any other comments? If not, we'll go to item number 11, public hearing and order to receive public input on proposed 2021 fiscal year operating budget for the city of River Oaks that will raise more total property taxes in the general fund than last year's budget by $93,308, or 4.48%. And of that amount, $20,458.97 is tax revenue to be raised from new property added to the tax roll this year. And as we know, we're always a year behind on that, so whatever they built previous year, it won't show until the next. So I think that's outstanding. It shows that our city is improving, people are building. This public hearing is now open.
I'll start with the general fund. The operational budgets are the general fund, the water and sewer fund, the Economic Development Corporation, the crime district, and the